Why do I view being trans as a gift? I would love to tell you. There are so many reasons why I view being trans as a gift, but I'll go over just a few. First, I get to see the world from multiple perspectives.
5 minutes later.
Nobody told me how lonely being a man is.
James is a trans TikToker who has gone viral because James is a biological woman who has transitioned to a man, and after having been transitioned for 8 years, says that being a man is hard. No one told you how lonely it is to be a man? Did you ever ask? Did you ever speak to any men before you transitioned? I'm not a man. I've never wanted to be a man. The thought has never crossed my mind. But I have had many male friends over the years, and I've had conversations with these male friends. So there's that. There's also plenty of articles and statistics out there if you choose to read them, like this one that I found from medium.com or this one from USA Today. There is statistics out there that men have a higher rate of self-deletion than women. Men have been feeling disenfranchised for many years. That's why people like Jordan Peterson have become very prominent in the manosphere on YouTube.
People have been after me for a long time because I've been speaking to disaffected young men. You know, what a terrible thing to do that is. I thought the marginalized were supposed to have a voice. It's very difficult to understand how demoralized people are. And certainly many young men are in that category. All these men who are alienated, it's like they're lonesome and they don't know what to do, and everyone piles abuse on them. It's really something to see constantly how many people are dying for lack of an encouraging word. And how easy it is to provide that if you're careful. You know, give credit where credit is due. And to say, you're a net force for good if you want to be.
But the irony is that people like James will listen to clips of Jordan Peterson and listen to what he has to say and call it toxic masculinity.
I had closer friendships with random women I met in the bathroom before I transitioned at clubs because of how open women are than I've had in my 8 years of transitioning. Because women are just so much more vulnerable and deep.
Men experiencing more loneliness than women is definitely a thing, but I wonder how much of the loneliness that this person is experiencing is solely linked to the fact that they are not a man. To give an analogy, I am a native English speaker. I grew up speaking English. I can speak some French. I had to learn French when I was in middle school, elementary school, high school. So I do know how to speak some French. I'm conversational at best. But if I were to move to France and live in the most remote French village, not only are there going to be cultural differences between me and them because I was raised in Canada, but there's going to be difficulties communicating because although I can speak some French, I'm not fluent. So I will be able to communicate very minimally, and I will, because I'm not able to communicate effectively with the people around me, experience loneliness. And so I'm thinking that this trans person, they still think like a woman, they still communicate like a woman, but they're trying to communicate with men, and that's why they are experiencing loneliness. And anyone who says that there are no differences in how men and women communicate, they've never communicated with the opposite sex, okay? Because I can guarantee you there's some men who are watching right now who have had an experience where they were trying to communicate with the woman in their life, whether it was a sister, a friend, a colleague, their girlfriend, their wife, whoever. And they're trying to communicate with her, and they're like, what the are you saying? And I can say the same thing for myself as a woman, and I'm sure other women can relate that there are times when we are trying to communicate with men, and we're like, why don't you get it? What the are you saying? Like, what is so hard to get? We have these differences because of biology. Women are socialized different. We are biologically different. Same thing with men. Men are also socialized different and biologically different.
But to have known, and I think a lot of trans men feel this, is we knew what depth felt like before we transitioned. We knew what it felt like to like have people want to hug us. And to have people want to talk to us. And to have a community. And then you transition and you're just a guy walking down the street that people cross the street so that they're not near you.
I don't know if James is exaggerating or if people literally cross the street when they see James coming. Me personally, if I was walking down the sidewalk and I saw James walking towards me, would I cross the street? No. I'll probably just smile and say hi and keep it moving, unless it was late at night. Maybe if I'm walking alone late at night, I might cross the street to make sure that this person can't do anything to me. But it's weird that James is crying about this because James is a biological woman. And if James, like, I went through James's TikTok account and James transitioned relatively late.
Hi, I'm James Barnes, and I am a trans man. 6.5 years ago, I transitioned. Went through a lot of changes.
As someone who was socialized as a woman and lived as a woman for many years, you would understand why women would be afraid of men. Not to say every single woman is afraid of every single man, and not to say that every man is a threat, but there are statistics to back up why a woman walking down the street at night would want to create distance between her and a stranger walking towards her who happens to be a man. I don't know. It's just weird to me that James is crying about this because James should understand.
And friendships are so much harder to build. And people are colder. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men.
I'm laughing because the word cis is often used by trans people in a derogatory sense, especially the phrase cis white male. You know, a lot of times trans people tell cis white men that they need to shut up and they have privilege and their opinions don't matter because they're cis white men, especially if you're a cis straight white man. Right? There's like this whole movement of people putting down, far leftists putting down cis white men.
Are men trash?
Oh, cis, heterosexual men, absolutely, especially white men.
College in Pennsylvania has recently postponed an event that centered around being tired of cis white men. So I'm at UT campus to ask students what they think about the event. Let's go find out.
Saying like we're tired of straight white men in society is really as like explicit as it sounds. I think it's just contributing to a general idea that like we're tired of straight white men having the power and everything, and it's like we as women of color, as like students at this university, like we're very much capable of certain things and we don't have the same privileges that are offered to straight white men.
And I've been hearing that from a lot of the ladies that I've been talking to today. Talk to me about what some of those privileges are that, straight white men have that you don't have. Talk to me about that.
I think I don't really know. Have you ever experienced like a specific instance?
I don't know, but I also need to go.
I know, I do need to go.
And I'm just laughing because now James passes as a cis white man and doesn't like how society is treating them now as a cis white man. While they are crying about how society is so mean to men, they're still saying, but all you marginalized people, I mean, you're right to hate cis white men, but being a cis white man or presenting as a cis white man, it's so hard.
And people are colder. What's hard is none of this invalidates how real and raw women and people who are in marginalized groups feel about cis white men. All of that's valid. But I also now understand why the suicide rate is so much higher in men. Because this shit is lonely.
To me, this is just proof that we all have different struggles in life. If you are a white man, a white woman, a black man, a black woman, Asian man, Latino man, Latino woman, whatever you are, we all have different struggles in life. And you might think that you would rather have someone else's struggle because your struggles are too hard. But in the words of the Pussycat Dolls, okay? Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. This is actually serving as a public service announcement for women to not transition. If you are someone who thinks that life will be much better and much easier if you can walk through society passing as a man, watching this video will probably dissuade you.
And I'm an emotionally mature man. I know how to build friendships, and it is still really, really hard. Try to think about how you can, in your small little community where you feel safe, can reach out to the men in your life and just help them feel maybe seen for a moment. Or do little conversations to help their emotional maturity so that they can reach out to people and have deeper guy friendships.
So us women need to go out there and make men more like women? What? I think James is a little bit out of touch with reality. James is not a man. James is a trans person trying to fit in with men. And therein lies the problem. I honestly think that James would be much happier if James formed friendships with women and perhaps other trans men. I was looking through the comment section on Twitter and I found a couple of comments that really stood out to me. She's now a woman trapped in a man's body. Tragic irony. Unpopular opinion. I don't feel sorry for her. Men don't spend our time crying because we didn't get a hug. We've got shit to do and place to go. I think it was meant to be places. Places to go. A woman injecting herself with drugs and growing a beard is a woman that injected herself with drugs and growing a beard. She's feeling invisible because people just see a man. Welcome to the party, Twinkle Toes. Men accept being invisible because they're too busy keeping electrical plants going, maintaining roads, and generally keeping society functioning. Wants to be a man, then expect to be treated like a man. I'm not mocking her loneliness, but it sounds like she expected men to behave like women. Basically, she's looking for female levels of interaction, but she's trying to pretend she's a man. Most men's friendships are around activities, example, football, walking, pint in the pub, rather than verbal and emotional connections. They get their emotional connection from their wife. They are quite happy with that. That's why they are at a high risk with relationship breakdowns since they are emotionally reliant on one relationship. I'm an emotionally mature man. I can't even read it. As she cries about not getting hugs from strangers.
Like before we transitioned, we knew what it felt like to have people want to hug us.
Okay. I have no more. That's the last one. So what do you guys think about this? Do you feel bad for James? Do you think that there is an issue in society with how men are treated? Or do you think that the issue is that James is a woman trying to live life as a man? Or maybe a little bit of both? What are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this video, please don't forget to hit the like button because it does help me in the algorithm. If you would like to support my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. And follow me on Instagram. My Instagram account is NissCee.Social. I've had people ask me, why is your Instagram following so much smaller than your YouTube following? I think it's because I wasn't really advertising my Instagram account as I was building my YouTube. So now my YouTube is significantly bigger than my Instagram. So I have like no Instagram followers, but it is my account. It's real. It's not a spam or a spoof or a bot. It's me. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me at NissCee.Social. And if you would like to support my channel monetarily, I do have a Patreon that I have started. And so my link for my Patreon and my link for my Instagram account will both be in the description box down below. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one, I have 2 more videos for you in the end cards that I think you will enjoy. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.